How is it that the sound of a train could make a child light up with wonder, but make an adult boil with frustration? The train didn't change, you did. What if I told you that you have the power to prime your emotions every single day, flip irritation into inspiration, fear into fuel, and hesitation into unstoppable action? Stick with me, because by the end of this, you'll know exactly how to take control of your inner world, no matter what's happening on the outside. How many of you, when you were kids, if a train was coming by, you tried to get near it, run by it, watch it, maybe count the number of cars on the train? How many used to do that when you were a little kid? Now you're on the way to work, a train comes, freaking train, I'll give you a clue, the train didn't change. But if every time you stay playful, it'll get better and better, and pretty soon the very sound that irritated you will put a smile on your face. How many of you have something in your environment, a person or situation, that gets to you? They come in, and it pisses you off or it annoys you. So what do you do when you have something in the environment that triggers you? You have to change what those triggers do to you. One of those tools is understanding the power of priming. This is something I do every single day, so I don't hope that I'm going to show up as my best I prime. Especially on days when you're exhausted or tired or hurting, or whatever the case may be, it's even more important. But it's important every day. Now, priming is a psychological principle. It's not a new principle, but most people don't apply it. Most people who do apply it are advertisers and marketers. Most individuals don't apply it to themselves. Priming is this idea that you think your thoughts are your thoughts, and they can be, but they rarely are. They're usually primed by something going on in the environment. If you learn to prime yourself, you won't be at the mercy of other people who may not have your best interest in mind or may not even know what they're doing. They're just priming it. So what does it look like? One study that grabbed me, one of the earliest studies I read, was at Harvard. They took a group of people, they took two actors, a man and a woman, and had them rehearse doing an exact presentation over and over again. They went to a mall and a park. They would walk up to you at the mall or park with a coffee in their hand and say, "Excuse me, could you hold this just for a second?" They wouldn't ask. They handed it to you and looked down so you didn't have a chance to say yes or no. They'd reach in, grab their phone, do something on it, put it back and say, "Thank you so much," and take it back. They practiced the same facial expression, tone of voice used a man and a woman, and went to 150 people, the man and woman one way, 150 another. Everything was identical except one thing. Half the people were handed iced coffee, the other half hot coffee, just for a few seconds. Now, interestingly enough, 20 minutes later, somebody with a clipboard would come back through the mall. They'd come up and say, "Listen, I'd like to ask you to read 2 paragraphs and answer 1 question. I'll give you $20 for it." You read the 2 paragraphs, a little story, and then the question was, how would you describe the main character in this story? What's interesting is over 81% of the people who were given hot coffee said the person was warm and genuine. The ones given iced coffee, 80%, just a 1% natural variation, said the person was cold, calculating, and uncaring. Exact same story, 20-30 minutes later. That's how powerful priming is. In certain restaurants, they use music to get you to eat faster and get out when it's busy. They have tracks that do that. Big chain restaurants with money have made it a science. They know when it's getting packed, they play certain music that primes you to eat more quickly, and it works. There are places where they play Italian music, and 70% of people buy Italian wine. These are unconscious tools of influence. So there's no question priming is real. The question is, are you being primed, or are you doing the priming? In most cases, you're being primed, but I want you to actively take control and prime yourself. When you do, it really transforms you. If you don't, you're stuck with everything else. Priming is happening all the time. Think of priming like training. We're training our brains, our minds, our emotions. We're training each other by the way we treat each other. We're always doing the training. My youngest son, Josh, couldn't walk down to the edge of the driveway to get on the bus to go to school. He was so fearful. Then one day he came home different, playful. He'd met a dear friend 2 doors down. They're still best friends 30+ years later. This kid, have you ever been around someone who's not funny, but they think they're funny? They crack themselves up so much that you laugh just because they're laughing. That was this kid. He wasn't funny, but he thought he was hilarious and laughed so hard that you found yourself laughing too. He made me laugh. Josh was laughing. After he left, I said, "Josh, you really like this kid?" He said, "Yeah." I said, "Make him your friend for life." He asked, "Why, Dad?" I said, "Because he has wired himself to find joy and humor in almost anything. If you spend time with him, you'll develop the same pattern. He'll prime you to be in a playful state. It all came from priming. Your best friends prime you, and you prime your best friends. I remember one time my daughter, she was just turning 16, fell in love with this kid who played football in college. One night, he showed up 45 minutes late. She was so angry she thrashed him verbally. I heard it from 3 rooms away. I didn't say anything the first time. Then a few days later, a similar thing happened. Instead of saying, "Hey, I missed you, I love you, I know you must have been busy with practice," she got mad again. I told her, "You're teaching him that you equal pain. You are training him. You are priming him. Instead of priming him to feel love, appreciation, gratitude, you're priming him to expect pain from you. The fact he's not here. Find out why. But he's not trying to hurt you." We have tremendous power to influence each other. If you do something consistently, you will prime people, but the place you want to start is priming yourself. You can prime yourself so the very thing that used to irritate you, that person, that situation, makes you feel great. You lose confidence, you go to speak and you're nervous. You can prime yourself so that speaking makes you feel strong. You can prime yourself for anything. You don't have to wait and wonder or hope or react to old conditioning. You want to keep doing it until it's so wired that it becomes your natural state. It just means that gear is available to you anytime you want it. It's on the edge. Most people today, especially in this country, actually around the world, are in a state of uncertainty. Uncertainty leads to fear. Continuous fear leads to sadness, depression, overwhelm. When you see a great athlete, leader, parent, they have certainty inside them. That certainty doesn't come from the outside world. It comes from within. I want you to experience that not just once, but to leave with it in your nervous system. We're going to prime the most important emotion of all. If you prime yourself like this, do you think it would shape how you interact with your world? Yes or no, when you're in this state, you handle problems very differently. Priming is something you want to do for at least the next 10 days, ideally 21. Some of you may commit to it 5 or 7 days a week. Make it the first thing you do in the morning. It's only 10 minutes. If you prime yourself, it'll be different. It doesn't mean you won't have problems or challenges. It just means you'll have more of you ready to deal with them. Start your day in a beautiful state and build it up. In the beginning, I did it morning and evening. Now it's so wired in me, I can do it quickly and easily, usually just in the morning. But if something is really stressful, I might take 10 minutes in the afternoon or evening and then go deal with the situation from this state. Very different. We can't control the outside world. We can influence it, but we have absolute control of the inside world. You don't have to wait for the world to change. You don't have to react to old habits, old pain, or old patterns. You can prime yourself. You can choose your emotions, your energy, your mindset every single morning. And when you do, you don't just face life, you lead it. So I challenge you, prime your mind for greatness, your heart for gratitude, and your soul for growth. Because the moment you change your state, you change your story. And when you change your story, you change your life.